viewers, welcome to your program Development Zone, where we celebrate achievers, unveil the core potential of our dear nation, and also celebrate those who have contributed immensely to the growth of our country. Today on the program, we'll be chatting with Tpl.Nathaniel Atibije. He's the National President, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. He will be unveiling to us the achievements so far, the challenges, and the way forward in Institute. Sit back, relax. I'll be right back.
The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners was established. The aim of disseminating information about what town planning is, and it is expected that that governments and the people of this nation will be able to organize human settlements to make it more livable, to make human settlements safe, to make human settlements beautiful, to make them functional, that people will have livable environment. That was the purpose of establishing the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners. Indeed, it started with 9 men who trained majorly outside this country, and they saw the improvements in human life and livability within those countries, and they felt that it is good also that we should follow good patterns. That was the whole purpose of establishing the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, and it has grown from the population of 9 people to a population of over 6,000 persons today. And that is to say that people are getting to know, people are getting aware, governments are getting to know that we need to organize our environments for us to prosper and for us to live well. It has been good, it has been fair by the grace of God. Of course, you know that leading people is not an easy thing, but God is helping us, and we are able to manage the things that are available to us. Resource-wise, God is helping us that the resources that are available to us are applied wisely. You can see that we are undertaking a project in the Secretariat now, remodeling our Secretariat to give us a more comfortable accommodation for us to think better and plan better. Apart from that, we have been into several other programs, particularly advocacy. Advocacy, because there's quite a lot of ignorance, misinformation about the whole spirit and purpose of planning, in Nigeria. And people think that it is a waste of time and a waste of money, to do town planning. And they don't know that it is the most costly thing to live without a planned environment. I give you an example. The things we have on earth, many things can be elastic. They can be drawn to whatever extent, but the land we live on, which we use, is not elastic. Even if technology helps us to expand it a little. For example, now we are reclaiming some parts of the ocean. We are going to some hilly areas, and we are pulling down the hills so that we can develop them. It can only be infinitesimally increased. It is not enough to meet the needs of men. So all we have to do, and the whole purpose of planning, is to ensure that we make use of the land that is available to us judiciously. Through advocacy, people are beginning to appreciate that yes, they need to plan their environments. They need to organize the physical environment, because if we consume land the way we have been doing, the next generation might not get a place to develop, and what will come out of it? Crisis. And let me not even go too far, because right now we have a lot of crisis. Before, you could go from any part of the country to any part without any crisis. But these days, If it is getting to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, if you have a journey to make and it is not going to take you less than an hour, you will be a bit very careful because you are afraid of security challenges. Even in the day, people are afraid to go to several places. Why? Because quite a lot of quarrels. Herdsmen are quarreling with farmers. What is it about? They need grazing land. It was not like this before. You know, they need grazing land. And when the farmers say that we cannot allow you, fight ensues. Many lives have been lost. I mean, the stories of these things are so much untold. We've had a lot of crises in the far north and coming to the middle belt, and even some places in the southwest and in the southeast. Everywhere crisis. All, if you factor all of them, if you, factorize, let me say, if it is a mathematical term, what you get is that the reason why we are fighting is because of land. And this is what the town planners, stand to give to the nation to ensure that our land is organized properly and everybody will have, his interests achieved and protected. There will be no crisis. The number one thing that you can do to ensure that there is peace, tranquility, development, physically and economically, socially, in any nation, is first of all to plan the environment. And it is important to know that the job of town planning is the job of the government. It is a service that government must provide to the people because even if we go by the laws of Nigeria, in every state of Nigeria, land that is within their domain is placed in the hands of the governor to administer. And so it is the government that should, take the front space in terms of physical planning, town planning. When government provides, the general outlook of the town, then every other person will key in. And that is what the government needs to do. Many other people are developing without plan just because government has not done what it should do. But we thank God that in a few places, in some of the states, the governors and the administrators of such states are beginning to appreciate that they need to plan, and they are getting into it. I can give you examples of Lagos State. They are doing very well. Ogun State is doing well. Edo State is joining. Nasarawa State has been on it, and they are working well. I mean, we don't talk of Abuja. Abuja started from the scratch as a planned city. And we can see that, yes, although, there is no perfection in it because there are dynamics in terms of the population, in terms of demands, in terms of technology, and so many other things. So you cannot stay here and plan for the next 10, 20 years and get it perfectly. And that is why we make provisions for the review of whatsoever plans we make. So what I'm saying is that, yes, people develop without planning because government has not provided an enabling environment. And government should stand to its responsibility to create that enabling environment for our developers to do it properly. The government that is coming into power came in, convinced people through their manifestos. They went out to campaign and they promised the people, the electorate, that they were going to do certain things, quite a lot of things, to make their lives better. Some of them health facilities, educational facilities, roads, bridges, industries, and whatever they had in their mind. But it should be noted that these things that they are promising the people will not be done in the air, it will be done on land. And so the first thing that any reasonable government, any government that is ready to achieve and meet the needs of the people, will first of all think about these things that I have promised, how are they going to be located? How are they going to be located? And that is the job that town planner gives to the people. So it is important that any government that wants to succeed must keep town planning on the front burner, or else, if you locate a good thing in a bad place, usually in mathematics, positive plus negative gives you a negative result. So if you have a good intention, but it is prosecuted in a very wrong way, you get wrong results. And that is why governments in Nigeria have been vicious circles and not making any progress because of wrong priorities. People are yet to appreciate what urban and regional planning means to their lives. And it is one of the things we have been pursuing, to make people know that a planned environment is a livable environment. And there is no amount of investment you do without planning that will ever make sense. Now, it is also important to know that even the few that seem to appreciate the essence of planning, the number of town planners that are available in this nation, they are so few. We are so few. Now, in some enlightened climes, you have the ratio of town planners to the population, 1 to 3,000, 1 town planner to 3,000 population. And today, we speculate the population of Nigeria to be in the region of about 220 million. If you divide 220 million by 6,000 town planners dead and alive that we have, you just see that we are talking of ratios that are just far out of reach. And that is why it is difficult for developments to be controlled. You see urban areas, you see urban sprawl. People are developing illegally. Every day people, there are issues of demolition, and people cry. And it's just because we don't have enough town planners, apart from the fact that we don't even have enough town planners. Even the few that are there, government is not engaging them. Government is busy employing clerks, political, those who serve them politically, people that may not add immediate value to the environment, but just spending money without direction. That is very, very important. Secondly, even where you have the town planners and they are ready to work, you must also give them equipment, because one of the disciplines of planning is to control. Sometimes controls could be difficult when people do not want to obey the law, and that is where you talk about development control, approvals, and then perhaps removal of illegal structures for those who are, who develop inconsistent with, approved plans. So we need to make the plan. We need to engage people who do the plan. We also need to provide equipment, and equipment could be plant and machinery. It will also include vehicles, that people can use. Then modern equipment which are also responsive to technology, that we can do online monitoring. And online monitoring helps you to avert disasters. It helps you to know what is happening anywhere at any point in time. And these things are very, very possible. I think all that government needs to do is to invest in town planning, and we'll see that there will be a change in the country. Economy will grow. Nigerians will prosper if only they imbibe the spirit and purpose of town planning. I am Nathaniel Atibije, a town planner, and not just a town planner by name, a town planner by passion, by fashion, because I believe that is God's first profession anyway. That when God created the earth, the Bible says that the earth was without form and void. and there was confusion until he said, let the waters find their way, and then the dry land appear. And that is to say that God wants to separate the incompatible from the compatibles. And then he allowed the trees to grow and so on and so forth. So that has been my life. And I think I have enjoyed practicing the profession with a passion. And if there is another world, I'll continue to be a town planner because that is close to the heart of God. Everything has its own time. Anybody who is a follower of God should be an organized person because, there is time to work, there is time to rest, and that is what we have seen. I've been a consultant, and being the president of this institute has not removed me from being a consultant because I have to live. I have to live. I have to earn salary for myself. I have to earn a living. So, despite the busy schedule given to me by the institute, I must also find time to work for myself and at the same time find time to rest so that I can balance work, family, and rest. Oh God, in the next 4 years, I believe that the name of a town planner would be a household name in every community. Children from primary school to secondary school to the tertiary institutions will know that they need town planning and town planners, so that they can live in a good environment. And because of this, we have our setup, to get clubs in the primary schools, in the secondary schools, to educate them so that they know the value that town planning brings to their life. If you go to many schools today, whether from primary school to the secondary school, when you ask them, many of them want to say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be, accountant and whatsoever. I think very soon the story will change when they see the value that comes into their environment because of the works of town planners. I think that is where town planning or town planners will be in the next 4 years. The job that God has given me, because my presidency is, yes, people voted for me, but I think God had a hand in it. And what God told me is that I should create a brighter future for the town planners. And by the grace of God, with job opportunities that God is helping us to create, and with the awareness that God is helping us to create, and the advocacies that we have been involved in, they will remember that there was an apostle of the brighter future for town planners and for the Nigerian nation, after I would have left office.
Welcome back. Like we heard from our guest today, he has urged the government of the day to engage and invest more in town planning for a better nation for you and I. He has also assured Nigerians that we should take town planning much more serious because it's our day-to-day activity. Till I come here again, I remain your host, Joseph Uzuakbondo Balijo. Bye for now.